it's Carly and I'm back again with another review. So today we are continuing on with our Spider-Man No Way Home figures with a character who actually didn't appear in No Way Home, but was in the recent live-action version of Venom Let There Be Carnage. Today we're going to be taking a look at our Shriek. Now this Shriek is based off of the comic book character and not the live-action version from the film, so we're just going to be talking about her in her traditional role in the comic books because, and I'm probably going to get a little bit of heat for this, but I was not a fan of the first Venom movie. I know some people agree with me, but most people think that that's crazy. But because of that, I never saw Let There Be Carnage. I do plan to watch it eventually, so don't get too angry with me, but I haven't seen it yet, and, you know, it's just kind of on my list, but not near the top. So I'm not really sure what they did with Shriek in that movie. Let me know in the comments if you think it's worth it for me to really go at it. If you guys think I should watch it right away, I will. But that's why I don't really know a lot about what's going on with the live action Shriek. The comic book Shriek, though, has a lot to talk about. So her name is Frances Louise Berenson, I think, and she comes from a really sad background. So when she was young, she was very overweight, and because of that, her mother and her stepfather used to really abuse her, and that was the basis of it, was that she was overweight. So because of the abuse that she suffered at the hands of her mother and her stepfather, I believe it was, she turns to drug abuse and a life of crime and really just gets stuck on the wrong side of the law. Through that, she encounters Cloak and Dagger and gets taken into Cloak's dark world, and that is where her powers emerge and probably where she loses the last bit of her sanity. So her powers are sound manipulation. She can throw sonic blasts and create a sonic shield. When she does that, her eyes turn this white color, kind of like Storm. I did not find a version in my research of her with just one eye like that. I'm not really sure why they didn't do both or have an alternate head. You know, as I always want an alternate head, but having an alternate head with both eyes white and one with eyes blue, I think would have been better. This is a little bit confusing. It reads a bit more like a domino than it really does a Shriek, in my opinion. But the accessories that she did come with were fists. I really like the open hands that I have on her. We'll look at those a little bit closer in a second. And then sort of those open, weird nightstick hands that we saw on our black suit Spider-Man. I know that they're fists. I do not like these kinds of hands. I think they're weird looking. I mean, I know that from the front they look fine as fists, like fighting hands, but I don't know, they're just weird. Those aren't my favorite. And again, I would have rather had one set of hands. These are great looking. They're the ones that I'm going to be displaying her with. And an alternate head with the eyes whited out. That's just my opinion. But I do think that she looks pretty good. It's really funny because the sculpt actually weirdly resembles Courtney Cox to me. Tell me in the comments if you guys see that too. I just feel like she looks like Courtney Cox like back in the Friends days. I don't know, maybe I'm hallucinating. Let me know what you guys think of that facial sculpt. But on with Shriek's story. So she meets Cletus Cassidy and they start this really weird family structure. Over the years, as she's been in and out of mental health institutes, I think it's called like Ravencroft, she gets really fixated on family because she identifies the fact that her family was so abusive towards her as like the point that everything sort of went wrong for her in her life, and she feels that if she can create a family structure, everything will be okay with her. So she and Cletus get together, and then they weirdly sort of adopt Demogoblin and Doppelganger, and they make Carrion their dog, kind of. It is a very dysfunctional, very bizarre villain team where they kind of, or at least she views it as she and Cletus as the parents, their two kids, and their pet. Very weird. But that is the structure that she comes from. So she is a villain who fights Spider-Man, and that's her origin. Let me know in the comments anything else you think it's important for me to know about Shriek, and I'm interested to know. I feel like that's a very weird background, and I kind of want to read more to know about her, but I'll look into it. So getting into the figure, we have this really like kind of stereotypical kind of like 90s hairband sculpt and makeup. She was, I think, like a roadie or something, or she was following bands around, something weird like that in her drug days, like she was selling drugs to bands or something like that. So she is kind of like a rocker girl or whatever. I think this is a really kind of stereotypical look, and while it looks okay to me, it didn't read really well to a lot of the artwork that I saw of her. So I'm not 100% in love with the way that the hair looks. And again, the face, just, I can't stop seeing Courtney Cox. Because of the way that the hair sculpt goes down her back and up on her shoulders, we don't get a lot of movement in the head. You get right and left. We can't really get up and down. So that's kind of an issue. Not that much though. I think for this character, we don't really need her to be looking around a lot. But the articulation in her arms is really fantastic on this one. So you can see we get great lift in the shoulders. She has a turning bicep that works beautifully. Her elbows also double jointed and work beautifully. And a hand that is flexible, and we can get some really great poses out of. One of the things that I like most about this figure is that while we have this, the female sculpt with the very slight torso that is, the waist and the ab crunch all in one. So we've got everything going on up here. What they did really well was to align the paint job with the top part of the torso and the lower part of the torso when she's bent all the way back. In the past, and I know I've talked about this too, we've seen lots of female figures where when they're bending back like this, you get this big negative space right here. So there's like a big opening that happens when she's leaning all the way back. And with this figure, not only do you not get that, but the paint job aligns perfectly, which I think is really, really beautiful, because you can get a really consistent look with her, whether she is leaning back or forward. I think it just looks spectacular. And it's an attention to detail that I don't feel that we see very often on these female characters, so I'm really happy with it. I think for all the issues that I had with my black suit Spider-Man, the paint application, white over black on this, that gets tricky a lot of the times, but she looks spectacular. So my Shriek pull was really stunning. I think that she looks fantastic. She's got her silver belt here. And other than her hands, then, she has no additional accessories. She does have like a small, what looks like a bangle bracelet here. But the rest of her is really simple and straightforward. She has really excellent articulation. I have very few complaints about this figure. I really like the way that she looks. She has that slight build so we can get all of those really great acrobatic poses. We've got a great lift in her thighs. We've got the thigh turn here. Goes all the way around easily. We've got a nice bend in the knee that looks really great. No boot turn, but a very flexible and easy to manipulate foot. So this is a really well constructed figure. She's put together beautifully. The paintwork is beautiful. Again, with the face, I'm happy generally with the paintwork, but the sculpt is a little bit weird to me. I just can't get like Kiss meets Courtney Cox out of my mind. That's all I can see. But as far as the paint application goes and the sculpt on, she does have these earrings. You can't really move the hair back to see them, but you can just sort of see them on the sides that are pretty cool looking. She looks really great overall, and you're going to be able to get any pose that you want out of her. So I'm really happy with this figure, and I have a Carnage I'll be posing her with. I think I have a Demogoblin. I don't have Doppelganger, but I'm pretty sure I have a Carrion somewhere. So I might just go make their little dysfunctional family on my shelf. I'll try to do that in the next couple days so that you guys can see it in my next video. But let me know what you guys thought of Shriek. I don't think there is a lot that is overwhelmingly great about her, and there's not a lot that's overwhelmingly bad about her. In fact, there's nothing that's overwhelmingly bad about her. She's just very average, middle of the road. I don't necessarily love her being included in this group of figures. I would have much rather seen an MJ or a Ned. I know that we'll probably get more figures from this series coming up, but if we're gonna have a sort of throwaway character like we tend to do, I just don't feel like this is the place for it. I really want to see an MJ. I really want to see a Ned figure. I really want to see Tobey Maguire. I really want to see Andrew Garfield. I think there are tons of ways they could have done it. Shriek feels like a little bit one-off for me, but as far as figures go, she's a pretty decent figure, and I will have fun putting her with her dysfunctional family on my shelf. So let me know what you guys think of Shriek and who you would like to see next in our series. We've got our Spider-Man, our J. Jonah Jameson, and then we'll be up to our armadillo. I will do whichever one you guys let me know in the comments next, and if you don't comment, I will choose myself. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I'm really enjoying making these again. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see me do, and I'll do my best to do it, and I will be back very soon with another one. Thanks for watching. Bye, friends.